and gentlemen, welcome back again to the One Dad Seven Lives podcast, and I certainly do thank you for joining me today. And today, what I want to talk about is body positivity. Now, the reason that I started looking at this more in depth was just quite simply because I saw the Metro article regarding Emma Thompson in a fat suit so that she could play Miss Trunchbull in Matilda. Now, I don't understand why it's such a problem. And maybe it's me, but the character is fat. That doesn't mean that a fat person needs to needs to um, play the character. Because if that was the case, then why do actors lose weight to play certain characters? Why are they allowed to put on prosthetics to have different noses or chins or um, look like demons and monsters in TV series? And it doesn't make sense. The thing that I don't understand about it, and it goes back to even myself, is the first line of this article, and I quote, says, "When I saw actress Emma Thompson in a fat suit, the shame of being picked last in PE suddenly came flooding back." Now, I don't know about anybody else, but me personally, I was not the greatest athlete in primary or secondary school. And when we played football, I was not first, most certainly not second, and almost invariably one of the last people to be picked for a team because of my lack of skill. But there were people who were picked ahead of me who were quote unquote fat kids. And I I don't see how looking at a picture of someone in a fat suit brings back all that shame, but then you're able to look at someone like Lizzo and say that she is a strong, independent woman, and not tell me that that brings that shame to you. Why is it that that doesn't bring that image back to you when she is a naturally fat person, but seeing Emma Thompson in a fat suit does? Why does seeing Miss Trunchbull in the old Matilda movie not bring that back, but Emma Thompson in a fat suit does? All this is to me is another way of telling people that I am a victim and I want to be noticed and I want to be lauded and given great respect because I used to be fat or I am fat. And I'll say that the person that's writing this doesn't look especially fat to myself. Um, but I don't understand how you can say seeing a skinny person in a fat suit brings that back, but seeing Lizzo or any of these, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, um, that doesn't bring it back. And she's to be praised because she is fat, but Emma Thompson can't be praised for her portrayal of a character from a book, from a kid's book. Like, I don't understand why there's an issue. Like, why was, why is Hugh Jackman allowed to buff up and jack up to play Wolverine? Why is Chris Hemsworth allowed to change his body type, to become super buff and jacked to play um, Thor? But it's one thing that way, but not the other way. Put it this way: why is Emma Thompson allowed to play Nanny McPhee where she has a big giant wart and a big crooked nose on her face, like buck tooth and all of that sort of stuff, and that's fine. But playing a fat person in a fat suit is not okay. It's okay if it affects you, is what if it doesn't affect you, should I say? That's okay, right? That's what it is, correct? Because if it doesn't affect you, then who cares? It's fine. Play what you want, right? As long as the guys are good looking and the women don't affect you, then who gives a fuck? Like, how am I supposed to tell my kid, my boy, that he should be happy, healthy, and stay at a healthy weight, and tell my girls the same thing, but you're gonna tell my girls that being fucking 40 stone is okay, but my boy has to be a fucking 6'2", jacked, fucking muscle bound, fucking six pack covered, but my girls are allowed to be, have to be, not even allowed to be, have to be these big, humongous 40 stone fucking women to be proud of who they are. If they're skinny, then they're fat shamers. If they don't like themselves when they're skinny or fat, then they're body shamers. How does that make sense? How am I supposed to teach my kids that? And this is something that we are going to talk about as double standards. But how am I supposed to teach my kids? And I teach my kids well, excuse me, but blow my own trumpet a little bit. But how am I supposed to teach my kids that they should be happy, but then when they go out into the big wide world, you're then going to tell them that girls should be one thing, guys should be another, and that's a-okay. Guys are not allowed to be this, but girls have to be that. Like, my boy's not allowed to be a big fat fucking chubba wubba because he's got to be a fucking 6'2" muscle bound fucking money making machine. But a girl can be a fucking 5'2" fucking marshmallow and that's alright. Explain to me where the correlation between those two things comes up. I don't understand how you can tell me that it's okay for my girls to be whatever they want and be whatever size they want, but then my boy can't be. It's ugly, it's unhealthy, it's this, it's that. Explain to me how that is the thing, how that is the case. Like, okay, Emma Thompson's a skinny woman, that's fair enough. And she is playing a fat person. But then why are we allowing people like Adrian Brody to lose massive amounts of weight to play a character in The Pianist, or what was his name in The Machinist, wasn't it? I cannot remember his name. Let me do a little bit of Christian Bale. That's the one I was thinking of, not Adrian Brody. Christian Bale. Why are we allowing Christian Bale to become an anorexic fucking freak in The Machinist? And that's okay, and that's healthy, and that's perfectly fine, and he was great in that movie. But then Emma Thompson isn't allowed to put on a fat suit to play a character. Why is that a thing? Why is it the case that that is allowed to be the thing? Like, what are you telling me? That if Emma Thompson had put on 20 stone, 100 pounds, whatever your metric might be, 20 kilos, I don't fucking know. If she had put weight on to play Miss Trunchbull in that movie, then that would have been a-okay. Is that what is that what you're trying to say to me? That if a woman had made herself unhealthy, and I don't agree with any of the things that I've represented previously regarding actors, Christian Bale and Adrian Brody losing weight and going down so that they can play characters in these movies, that's unreal. And I do not agree with it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and it should not be allowed. It is absolutely fucking insane that these people do these things and come out and make these movies and are applauded and allowed to do this sort of shit. Whether it's healthy or not, whether it's done under, you know, healthy circumstances with a doctor and things like that beside them, it's unhealthy. You cannot be that weight for an extended period of time and be healthy. You cannot tell me that that's a thing. Like, don't that is in no way, shape or form a thing that you can explain to me and say um, that that's healthy, because it's not, you know. But guys are allowed to do this. Guys are, you know, it's okay for X guy to do this or X guy to do that. Like Christian Bale putting on all the weight for Vice. Like he is one of the ones that does seem to do it, and I get that. Um, but I don't understand why it's something that we are applauding men for doing, but then women can't just throw on a fat suit. I would have had a lot more respect for Christian Bale if he just threw on a fat suit to play the characters that he played fat. The skinny ones, I understand that they may be great movies, but I don't think it's a healthy thing, and I don't think it's something that should be praised. I don't think it's something that should be happening. And the fact that people are up in arms and all bent out of shape because what, she put on some fat suit and is playing a fat character. So why don't we get all up in arms and bent out of shape when she's playing the ugly characters that she plays? Why is it only a thing when that's the case? And why is it only a thing that we have to be body positive when it's against the people that affect you, when it's against fat people, quote unquote, um, healthy at every size people? And I don't care what you say, that is not a thing. You know, you're not healthy at every size. You may not be massively unhealthy, but you're certainly not healthy at 30, 40, 50 stone, you know, and or you know, 400 pounds. That's not healthy. I don't care what you say. If you can't walk from one room to another, then you're not healthy. If you can't physically get up off a seat without assistance, then you're not healthy. And I don't see why Emma Thompson is being called out for putting on a fat suit and playing a character that is fat. It doesn't make sense to me. And you can't say to me, oh well, they should have had a fat person playing that. So? And your point is what? Should they have had an ugly person playing Nanny McPhee then? I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Why? Why don't we have anorexic people in, you know, playing these skinny people in movies? Why don't we have um, only 6'2" people playing certain characters in movies? You know, it doesn't make sense. And the fact that you're getting all bent out of shape because of this, but we have, for argument's sake, say the Lord of the Rings, Um, there was for Gandalf, there were two body doubles for him. One that was super tall and one that was a bit shorter, or the same height. He was slightly smaller, but he was the same height essentially. And the tall man was supposed to be so that when they were doing scenes with, Frodo and Sam and such, so that they looked the height comparisons were they were small and he was large. And I don't understand why that's not a problem, but her putting on a fat suit is. Like, explain to me the difference. Explain to me why it's okay for two people, or for us to have a normal sized actor and then a tall actor to play his double, but it's not okay for Emma Thompson to put on a fat suit and decide, well, you know what, this is how I'm going to play this character. And it probably wasn't even her choice. She just went for the part. Like, or she was offered the part maybe and went for it. It wouldn't necessarily have been her choice to put the fat suit on, but she agreed with it. I understand that. But that doesn't make her a bad person. It doesn't even make the producers and director of the movie a bad person. Bad people, should I say. All it means is that that's what they wanted in the movie. They wanted Emma Thompson to play the character, and they wanted her to put on a fat suit. Stop getting all bent out of shape over shit that doesn't fucking concern you. And it doesn't concern you in any way whatsoever. Because adults know that Emma Thompson is Emma Thompson. And they're going to figure out that she was either put on a lot of weight or she wore a fat suit. Kids are going to look at her in that movie and go, wow, she's fat, and not give a flying fuck. Whether it was Emma Thompson or fucking Harry Styles or fucking anyone else who was playing the character. And they're not going to try and figure out whether she was actually fat or not. They don't care. And I don't I don't get why everyone is getting all bent out of shape over this one tiny detail, because that's all it is. It's one tiny detail, and that doesn't dictate whether the movie is going to be good or bad. It may affect your opinion of it, certainly, but it doesn't take away from the efficacy of the movie to entertain people. It doesn't, and it doesn't matter what you say. You may not be entertained by it. It may hurt your feelings, but that's a you problem. That's not an us problem. That's a you problem. If you have hurt feelings because this movie didn't put a fat person to play Miss Trunchbull, then that's a you problem, not a we problem. That doesn't concern me or my wife or my kids, and it doesn't dictate how our lives are going to continue to operate on a daily basis. And I don't understand why, as a human being, you can't just look at something and be like, well, that's shit, and leave it at that. And I understand that that sounds weird coming from a guy who's on the internet ranting about the fact that people are getting bent out of shape about something, but you can't be telling people to how to live their lives and how to make their movies. If you want Matilda and you want a fat person to play Matilda, then go fucking make the movie. Go make the movie that you want. Why are you trying to tell other people how they should live their lives and how they should do their job. Your job isn't to tell other people how to do their job. Your job is your job, whatever you work as, if you work at all. And there is no way on God on this earth that you can look at me and you can say, well, it offends me, so I must blah blah blah. If it offends you, again, that's a you problem. That's not a Hollywood must change problem. That's not a this movie must fix this problem. That's not an Emma Thompson is X, Y, or Z problem. That is a you problem. If you are not happy with yourself, then you need to fix you. You don't need to fix everyone else. And this is the problem that we have, is that this body positivity movement, it's not out here to tell people that they should be happy in themselves. It's not out here to tell people that they should be happy with their lives, or they should, they should be positive about, the stretch marks that they have, or the little bit of fucking belly fat that they have, or, you know, bald head, or, whatever it might be. It's out here now as an excuse for fat people to be fat, lazy fucks. And I know you're gonna say, oh well, not all fat people are lazy, and not all fat people are fat by choice. Most of them are. And I'm sorry, but if you're putting too much food in and not doing enough exercise to get that food out, then that's a you problem. That's a you are too fat and lazy to do anything problem. When your dinner is a 3-person meal and your midnight snack is enough snacks to feed a family of 5, then there's a problem. And you have the problem. And you need to figure out where that problem comes from. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell my kids that, my boy must be X but my girls can be Y. And then you come out and tell my girls, oh well, you know, you should be this or you should be that, or don't let them tell you X, Y, and Z because that's not fair on you. Shut the fuck up. Shut the absolute fuck up. Like, I'm not going to tell my kids that they can't be what they want to be. If my kids want to be fat, lazy slobs, then fair enough. Let them be that. But I would hope, given the way that I've taught my kids, that they want to be healthy and happy and they want to enjoy their life and be able to go out and do things that they wouldn't necessarily be able to do if they were big fat marshmallows. And I understand people might get offended that I'm saying these things and calling fat people names, but if you cannot, if you cannot take a bit of name calling, then you need to grow the fuck up. That's a you problem again. That's not a me problem. Doesn't fucking matter. Who cares? It's a name. I'm not calling you that name. I'm not calling anyone in particular that name. I'm just saying this is what my kids might want to be. So if you can't take that I said my kids might want to be big fat marshmallows and that offends you, then you can fuck right off. But I don't, back to my point, think that my son being told that body positivity means he can be what he wants, but only if it fits this size. You have to be, 6-pack, 8-pack, 36-inch biceps. You must look like this to be a good man. But then to be a good woman, you can basically be what the fuck you want. And I don't understand why Emma Thompson gets praised on one hand for being an awesome actress, but then when she goes to play another part, people are offended by the fact that she's putting on a fat suit. And this is the thing, is that if my kids want to be skinny and be healthy, then they can be. And that's what Emma Thompson wants to be. She understands that being healthy and being happy do not equate well with being fat. And if you think that that is the case, and that that is a thing um, that is a positive, and that you do end up like that, and you do end up being healthy and happy at, 400 pounds or 30 stone, or whatever you might be, then you need to do something with yourself. You need to find out where the problem lies within you, because that is a problem that you have. Because everyone knows that being that size is unhealthy. Whether you want to lie to yourself, you're not lying to me when you say that you don't have any health problems, or that you are running X amount of miles per day, or that you are doing X amount of exercise per day, and you're still that size. You're a liar. And you're lying to yourself. You're not lying to me. I know what health is. And health is not what you're trying to preach to me. I am very, very certain that if you believe that stuff, and that is what you absolutely 100% think, then you have something wrong with you, and you need to seek help. And this is not a bash, this is not me having a go at people. I have my own issues, and I would absolutely urge anyone who believes that they are that size and healthy, and that they do enough exercise and eat so little food that they are healthy, that they seek professional help. Because that is not a thing. That is not the case. And you cannot stand here telling me, or sit here telling me, that you at 30 stone is healthy, but Emma Thompson wearing a fat suit is a bad thing. Those two things don't go hand in hand. They do not go hand in hand. And I don't understand why people keep trying to shame people for being skinny, for being healthy. The shame that you're trying to put on people for being a healthy weight is absolutely absurd. And the fact that Emma Thompson decided that she was not going to put on weight to play this character because she would be unhealthy, and she was going to put a fat suit on rather than put the weight on, I think is an excellent decision. And I think it goes to tell kids, little girls, that even if you are X size, you can still be the same as I am. Because kids will look at this movie in years to come, the way that we do about our movies now, the movies that we watched as kids growing up, and they will look back at them and they will say, well, look at her. She played this character and still managed to do it while maintaining a healthy diet and lifestyle. That may not be the first thing that they say, but they will recognise that. That will be something that is recognised. Because they understand that, they will understand, or they should understand by that time, that when they get to a certain age or a certain weight, that they will start to become unhealthy at that point. And you cannot say that you at 300 pounds or 30 stone is as healthy as I am, or as healthy as Emma Thompson is, or is as healthy as Chris Hemsworth and Liam Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. or um, Tom Cruise, even though they're all perfectly healthy weights and you are not. And I'm just going to finish off by saying that we need to stop this health at every size thing. Happy at every size, healthy at every size, body positivity, you are fat phobic if you don't like my fat body thing, because it is absolutely absurd to think that we are telling kids that it's okay to eat themselves into an early grave. That is ridiculous and it is absurd. Um, that was the last thing that I just wanted to say. I will touch on this further in my long episode on Sunday, or my long form episode on Sunday, and we can talk about it a bit more. I do want to say that if you are watching me on YouTube or listening to this on YouTube, please do let me know how you felt about the video. Leave a like or a dislike on there. Certainly leave a comment and tell me what you thought. Tell me how you feel. Tell me if you thought I was being unfair, or if what I said was fair. Please do also. If you're listening to this anywhere else, on any of the podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Podcast, anywhere like that, please do feel free to download the episode or leave a rating on there for me, please. And you can also finally find me over on Twitter at twitter.com/onedadpod. That is one, the number one, DADPOD. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I do hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.